Okay, so today this video is going to explain skill set number 1, and that's looking at Shorashim, or root words, and understanding how they apply to our class. We're going to be going over the handouts and homework assignments from your skills packet for skill step number 1. Feel free to watch this video as many times as you would like and pause and rewind to make sure that you understand the process. And you can also email me with any questions. Okay, so a shoresh is the three letters that form the core of any action word. So notice that an action word, we're talking about verbs here. Okay, let's look at one a little bit more closely. Let's take vayomer, which is right here. In Hebrew, there are prefixes and suffixes that are attached to the beginning and end of words. Our job is to figure out what's a prefix or suffix so that we can take them away and figure out what the actual shoresh is. So in this case, the vav and the yud are both part of the prefix, and that leaves us with the shoresh of aleph mem resh, which means he said. Now, to get an idea of suffixes, let's take a look at yalda. Now, you might recognize the words yeled and yalda as meaning boy and girl, and the shoresh yud lamed daled means to have a child. So the words that you're going to see that have yud, lamed, and daled together are going to have something to do with children. Now, when we take a look here at yalda, we see that yud, lamed, and daled are the shoresh. They are together, the shoresh right here. And then we have this hey, and because we have the hey, that's how we know that the word is saying yalda as opposed to yeled or something else. And remember that when we read Torah, we don't have vowels in front of us, so having that hey there would be the way that we would know, oh, that's saying yalda as opposed to a different word. As you look through this page, you'll see different variations of the same shoresh, and you can see the way that there can be different words that have different suffixes and prefixes and different vowel combinations, but they're based around the same shorashim. Okay, so now let's move on to the next page and let's read the instructions together. If you put vowels under the shoresh, it would look a lot like a verb that was in the past tense for a boy. For example, bara is he created, and we see bara right here. Let me point it out for you. And ra'a is he saw. For this reason, the translation for the shorashim below are written the same way, he, and then the word in the past tense. So what I'd like for you to do right now is to scan this page and take a look and see what shorashim are you already familiar with, or that your existing Hebrew vocabulary includes. So like I might read this, and the first one that jumps out at me is the shoresh for love, which is aleph, hey, and vet. So I say, oh, like ahava. Okay, got it. And then I'm going to put a check mark next to that because that's one that I know and I would recognize if I saw it somewhere other than this sheet. So go through, put checks next to the words that you recognize. This is not a race. It's not a test. You're not getting graded on how many you know. This is just for you and me to make sure that we can see maybe you need to work a little bit more on vocabulary, or maybe you need something a little bit more challenging in either direction. So pause the video and go through and put check marks next to the words that are familiar to you. So now take this opportunity to compare these two pages together and go through and fill out any vocabulary that you can find. So for example, the first shoresh listed here is kuf resh aleph, and we're going to look on the page to the right to find kuf resh aleph, which is right here, and it either means he called or read. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in Now you're going to be writing with pens and pencils and it will be much easier for you to fit it in the line, but you get the idea. So go ahead and take some time to look up these words if you don't know them already and write the English definitions next to the Shorashim in the column on the first page. Okay, last but not least, we come to the last page in your homework. Let's go ahead and read the directions together. Circle the 3 letters of the shoresh of the words below. So that's step 1. I'm going to go ahead and make that really clear. So step 1 is to circle the 3 letters. So let's do the first one together. It's actually something that we just use as an example of kufresh aleph. That's the shoresh. And then the taf yud is the suffix. Now, the second part of the directions, right here, is then write down the meaning of the word in the space. So in this column right here. So a reminder that all of these shorashim are in past tense. So let's use the first as an example. So we know that kore, or that kufresh aleph, either meant he called or he read. So in order to put it into the I form, which is what it is here because of the taf yud at the end, we would say, for biblical Hebrew, it's that I called, so we would write in called, or I read. So then you're going to go through the rest of these and figure out what the English is and then what form it needs to be in to make sense with the word that's in the left column. Okay, so let's recap really quickly what you should have done by the end of this assignment. First, you should have on page 2 of your Skill Stop packet, you should have written in the definitions for the Shorashim. You should have put check marks next to all of the words that you recognize from page 3. And you should have filled out the English for the left column and circled the Shorashim in the right column of page 4. Feel free to email me if you have any questions, and the next time that we're together in class, we're going to go over all of your work to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're ready to move forward.